We're in Los Angeles and we're driving to an undisclosed location to meet a Thai worker who says that he was enslaved by an international corporation. It's called Global Horizons. The company president, Mordecai Orion, an Israeli citizen, was recently indicted on federal charges of forcing hundreds of Thai men to work on U.S. farms. Hundreds of workers escaped their captors, and one of those men agreed to meet with us here to talk to us about what it means to be a modern-day slave. Sawadee ka? We'll call him Lee. He's a 42-year-old farmer who fears retaliation against his family back home. Lee told us a story through Chauncey Martorell, a human rights activist in Los Angeles. How did this job come about for you? Back in 2004, Thai recruiters working for Global Horizons came to northern Thailand with promises of well-paid American jobs.
At that point, he was really desperate.
Lee supported a family of 6 on less than $7 a day. He says the recruiters told him he would be paid nearly $9 an hour as a farm laborer, about $56,000 over 3 years as part of the U.S. guest worker program. In exchange, Lee would have to pay the recruiter $15,000 plus interest. Still, he figured he'd finish better off. So Lee said goodbye to his family, and he and about 50 other workers were flown to Washington state by Global Horizons. According to the federal indictment, the company confiscated some of the workers' passports and confined them to their compounds. Lee says his passport was taken when they were sent to Hawaii, to the island of Maui.
He was taken along with his fellow workers to an abandoned barrack. He was in a state of shock when he walked in. The first thing he saw, just full of cobwebs everywhere, and it was just filthy and dirty and deplorable.
Far away from the grand hotels and the sandy beaches tourists know, Lee and others were confined to an isolated pineapple farm. Martorell, who saw some of the conditions firsthand, says some men were living in freight containers with no electricity, running water, or toilets.
There's like no door to close themselves off, and there'll be rats running through their living quarters. Workers have told us that they'd be starving, and they went with very little food, and they had to go and scrounge around just picking leaves off of plants to eat.
Lee told me that the workers were under 24-hour surveillance. According to the indictment, one guard even threatened to shoot anyone who tried to escape. Then there was the issue of payment. We look at several months' worth of check stubs, and each and every time it says 0, 0. Lee says he was paid $14,000 in total, about $1,000 a month. Despite working overtime, it was far less than what he was promised. Unable to pay the recruiter's fee, he lost his house and ancestral land in Thailand. A spokeswoman for Global Horizons told CNN those fees were charged by rogue recruiters, not by Mordecai Orion, who's pled not guilty in federal court. She said the allegations about the dismal living conditions were complete fabrications made by the workers to federal investigators in exchange for special visas to remain in the United States beyond their 3-year stay. She says Orion was only trying to help Thai workers.
Modern-day slavery is alive and well here in America.
And you're saying that our laws actually make it possible?
Yes, this is the changing face of trafficking and slavery in America. Unfortunately, we are beginning to see more and more slavery through contract labor, like the guest workers program.
Lee says he was never treated like a guest in this country, not until he finally escaped his employer's grip. Thelma Gutierrez, CNN, Los Angeles.